Welcome back, BTV lovers. How have you been? We are back on TV. It's so bad to say goodbye, but I have to leave the studio. We are taking you to another dimension where we focus on telling fascinating tales. With me here in the studio is...
Hi everyone, I'm Linda, and also new here. I promise to share fascinating tales with you, and in return, I hope you treat me well.
Okay guys, thank you so much for the love so far, and I hope you treat Linda well. Until then, bye-bye.
I know you will miss your beautiful host, but we have to dive into the story. The first story is titled, He Divorced Me and I Married His Boss. This is how it begins. I never thought life could turn so sharply from the gentle slope of routine to the sudden cliff of betrayal. One minute I was a wife, a woman in love, surviving the chaos of modern life with a half-empty fridge and dreams I folded neatly between bills. The next, I was discarded, just like that, like an old coat that had seen too many winters. He left me, my husband, my so-called partner of 6 years. He said I had changed. You're always tired. You don't take care of yourself anymore, he said. But he never asked why I was tired, why the bags under my eyes had become permanent shadows, or why my nails chipped and stayed that way. He never saw the effort it took to keep our sinking world afloat when I lost my job, and the bills kept coming like waves in a storm. I washed his shirts by hand when the washing machine broke. I cooked meals from scraps while he scrolled on his phone. I let him sleep while I stayed up at night, calculating how much we owed and how little we had. He would come home and drop his tie on the floor like I was the maid, kiss my cheek like I was the wall, and never once did he notice that I hadn't bought anything for myself in months. But the worst of it was the poverty. I could survive poverty. What broke me was the blame. You used to be beautiful, he said one night. Now, you're just tired. Dirty. I can't live like this. Dirty. That word hung in the air like smoke. Poisonous. Heavy. He didn't know that I used to lie in bed at night crying quietly, feeling unworthy because he never touched me like he used to. He never noticed I lit candles on purpose, trying to make our lovemaking feel less like a routine chore, and more like the passion I remembered. But it was there. His desire had faded, and instead of facing his own shortcomings, the premature finishes, the lack of effort, he turned it on me. It was easier that way. So, one rainy Tuesday, he came home with folded papers, the kind of papers that make your name look foreign. Divorce. No yelling, no fight, just an ending wrapped in silence. And I signed them. I did cry, not in front of him. But that night, after he left, I collapsed onto my mattress, inhaling the stale scent of his absence and sobbing until my throat was raw. Weeks passed, then months. I moved out of our apartment and into a shared one-bedroom with a friend. I picked up odd jobs, cleaning offices, washing hotel sheets. I was invisible to the world, but oddly, I felt freer. No one was expecting anything from me until I met him. Before we proceed, don't forget to engage by clicking on the subscribe button, like, comment, and share. Thank you so much. Now, let's continue the story. It was a Thursday morning. Rain again, how poetic. I was scrubbing the marble floor of a luxury office, humming softly to myself. My back ached. My knees were bruised. But I worked like I had dignity, because I did. Excuse me. I looked up, startled. A man in a tailored suit, salt and pepper hair, and a gaze that made my skin stand at attention stood over me. He had the kind of presence that made elevators go quiet when he stepped in. You dropped your cloth, he said, offering it to me. I muttered a thank you. I expected him to walk off, but he didn't. You clean this office every week. I nodded. Tuesdays and Thursdays. Would you like to do it full time? For my house. I need someone who pays attention to detail, like you. I was stunned. I needed the money. I agreed. The job at his mansion was more than I ever imagined. polished wood floors, glass walls that caught the light like diamonds, rooms bigger than my entire old apartment. At first, I felt awkward, small, but he never treated me like help. He offered me water, asked me how I was doing, told me about the books on his shelves. I noticed he always had music playing, soft jazz or classical piano. Days turned into weeks, and I started smiling again. He started sitting in the room while I cleaned, talking to me about life, love, pain. One day, he asked me if I had ever been married. Yes, I said simply. What happened? He said I was too poor and dirty for him. He looked at me for a long moment. Then he was blind. I should laughed, but I didn't, because something about the way he said it made my heart stumble. He was just being kind. He meant it. Eventually, he invited me to dinner not as help, but as a guest. The first time a man had pulled out a chair for me in years. The first time I wore a dress and didn't feel ashamed of my body. Our connection grew slowly, respectfully. Every touch was earned. Every kiss came with intention. 6 months later, he asked me to marry him. And I did. It was a small wedding, just a garden, a string quartet, and a few people who had witnessed my rebirth. He kissed me under a canopy of soft white blossoms, and for the first time in my life, I felt truly seen. But the true twist, my ex-husband. He worked in sales at a car dealership. My new husband, his boss, had bought the company a year before. He had no idea who I had married until he walked into a corporate dinner one night and saw me on the arm of the man who signed his paycheck. He choked on his wine. I didn't smile. I didn't glow. I just looked at him with quiet peace, knowing he was now the one invisible to me. He came up to me later, stammering something about fate and how good I looked. I said only one thing. You said I was dirty, but dirt is where diamonds are made. And I walked away. What do you think of this story? Did she do the right thing of courting his boss? Let me know what you think in the comments section below, and please subscribe.